and welcome to Crackin Crime. I'm your host, Jamie Tilson.
I'm your co-host, Seth Tilson.
We're back to the fridge.
It never left. It's in my heritage.
Oh, man. I'd like to welcome everybody to this week's episode.
All the L's.
All the L's. All the peoples. Oh, man.
I don't remember voting on that introduction music either. I think I never paid attention to it till now. I don't remember picking that. Did we decide that, or did you?
Yeah, no, we've decided all of this. Yeah, this is...
Yeah. You just text me and let me know what we decided next time.
Oh, that's awesome. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. It's been absolutely awesome. We love everybody that's tuning in. Thank you, guys. Remember, go check us out on all the social media. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Everything's at Crackin Crime, except for TikTok. Our TikTok account is my account. That's Jamie Tilson 9371. Jamie Tilson 9371 at TikTok or whatever, however you say that one.
You know who else's name, or what else your name's on? The Patreon account.
That's right. Patreon. Go check us out, except Patreon is at Crackin Crime. Go check us out. While you're there, skip past everybody else. There's a bunch of other people on there. Go straight to Crackin Crime.
Sorry, Grandma. He said other people. I just got angry.
Oh, man. So go do that. That'd help us out. We're trying to get better quality stuff in the studio. Always trying to upgrade, update, make sure that it's a better listening experience for you guys.
Only listen to our podcast. Only us.
Only
no one
us.
else.
No
I am
one
metaphorically marking my territory and peeing on all of you right
now. So, therefore, go check us out. Speaking of Patreon, we do have our one patron.
Yes.
Mr. Mike Garcia, thank you, sir. You're so single-handedly...
so far.
single-handedly keeping our laptop powered up right now. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Maybe.
Oh, man. Another thing I want to announce this week is we're going to do another giveaway. All right? And this one's going to be to help grow our TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay? And obviously, all of it is to help grow the podcast because this is what we enjoy doing. We're doing some of the social media stuff, and that is strictly to try to promote our podcast. So, but we're being sponsored this week by B. John's Beef Jerky.
Which I am also a part-time salesman for.
Fantastic.
Sometimes you'll see me at some of the city things where they sell stuff.
Events.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. I'm just there like, hey, you want to buy some jerky?
Hey, buy some jerky. Seth is constantly trying to peddle his meat. That is their slogan. Their slogan at B. John's. Beef jerky is the best meat you'll ever put in your mouth. And
it is that's not even, I'm not just trying to talk them up either, but it is my favorite jerky by far. It's not too tough. It's juicy. Oh. It's by far the best juicy.
It's very good.
I love that juicy meat.
All right, I'm going to record this while we do it here.
Uh-oh.
Of course.
What is that thing called?
iPad,
right. It's back. We lost it.
we lost it for a second, but it's back up and rolling now.
It got the jerky stuff, Ben, so don't get upset.
All right, so speaking of being sponsored by B. John's Beef Jerky this week, we are going to do a giveaway, 3 different packages to one person. 3 packages of beef jerky. We'll mail it to you if that's what we need to do. All you got to do is we're going to post this video on TikTok while we're recording it right now. I just hit record. So we're going to send it out. You got to go find this TikTok.
Do it.
And then comment on this TikTok, and then you'll be entered to win. So like the TikTok post, and then, then you'll be entered to win.
Yeah, and get 1 million likes on your post.
That's what we're going for.
Yeah, I guess you don't have to do that. But We're just giving away the jerky. We're not going to do any work for it.
No. All you got to do to enter to win is like the TikTok post and then comment on the post on TikTok. Done. And you're entered.
Don't even have to share it. Can you share on TikTok?
I think you can. So you know what? We're
you
forcing
better do that too.
Share it. All right. Yeah. So like it, share it, comment done on the TikTok post. Oh. We're giving away beef jerky. Okay?
Meat.
The best meat you'll put in your mouth.
In
B.
or on
John's
your
jerky.
I'm sorry, Grandma. It's going to be a bad one.
Yeah, if we've already apologized to Grandma twice on this episode, it's going to be a long, funny episode. Be good.
I'm going to have to sit at the kiddie table for Thanksgiving. That's for sure.
Oh, man. All right, so this week, now we got all that done. We got any other announcements? Anything else going on? We did put a new Patreon episode out last week.
Oh, I was thinking. I pulled my groin the other day.
When you were pulling on it during the podcast?
No. It hurt.
Our first recording, and Seth was over there with his hand down his pants the whole time. Apparently.
Act like you've ever itched yourself before. I'm the only one.
So we've got a couple of bonus episodes that are only available to our Patreons. So the only way you're going to get those two amazing episodes is by joining us on Patreon.
What's $10? You know,
or $3?
That's a gallon of gas.
Yeah. We have two different options on Patreon. You got $3 monthly subscription or $10, and yeah, like I say, it'll help us out. So go over there, check that out. But otherwise, let's jump into this first episode. So this week we did.
We're winging it again.
We are winging it.
We do not edit our video or our podcast. We don't do anything. We don't even prep sometimes. We just get up here and give you the shit.
That's right. Give you the shit. So this is us giving you the shit. This episode, I don't know. I think it's going to be good.
I need a different chair.
I know. Yeah, it's squeaking something fierce. I still got that little baby roller chair.
I don't. People, Patreon, come on. We need a chair. You don't like the squeaking fart noises from my chair? I mean, let's work together on this.
Stop moving around so much. You don't really need to do anything.
Huh?
You don't really need to do anything. You don't need to move around.
I get uncomfortable easy. I'm kind of prissy. I need someone here to fan me.
So we had a ton of fun a couple weeks ago when we did the Crackin Country Crime. That one was a blast. So we decided this week we're going to do Crackin' some Hollywood crime.
Oh, yeah.
So we are going to be talking about some random celebrities, and I don't know. We'll see how this goes.
They're brief stories, and we'll fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
With Jamie's imagination.
That is pretty much the plan.
And if I don't like what he says, I'm going to call bullshit.
All right, so this first one is kind of not really much of anything, but apparently back in 2000 and I think it was 15, Arianne Grande.
Ariana
Grande. You know what?
You don't have to speak Spanish either. You could just say Ariana Large.
What?
Am I wrong?
Oh, Grande. That one totally took it. Like ricocheted back and hit me.
I watched it slowly get you. It went over your head, and then it came back.
It came back, and then it got me. Yeah. So we're talking about Mrs. Large. I think you need to get your microphone up to your face again.
Right, so
you are so
laughing so hard back there. She will always be Miss Large to me. Now we can hear your doorbell going off.
I know, now my doorbell's going off.
We're
Man,
so
I am
unprofessional.
so prepared. This is so awesome. And again, I'm not editing that out. You guys are just going to hear it.
You're going to hear it.
Yeah, you're going to hear it. That's just happened.
Yeah, I put my phone on silent.
So anyway, back in 2015, Miss Large is she is out after what I can only assume was a night of like drinking, and she decided that she needed a donut,
Or several.
or several. And some people probably are like sitting out there, you're like, what's a donut? It's known in the industry of law enforcement as a power ring. So while she's standing at the counter, she leans over and licks a donut sitting on a tray. Somebody filmed it. And
I think
then
she licked a couple, is what I read.
Yeah, in the video you just see her licking one. She leans over, she licks it, and then she leans back, and then she's just like,
No, I didn't like it.
yeah. And then she's with some guy, some just random dude that's with her, and then I don't know if it's her boyfriend or if it's her bodyguard or who it is, but then he leans over and he licks another one.
Oh, they're both.
Yeah.
That's how you.
So they're both
that's how you
just
do it?
random food lickers. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she says some stuff about like she hates America or something on there too on that video. But then they're not sure if that's what she said in the actual content of the video because
Allegedly.
So it was all allegedly with that portion of it, but it didn't matter. She's still absolutely gorgeous, hell of a singer.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think she had to do some apology.
Well,
Video.
she should. I mean, you just randomly, willy-nilly licking donuts and not buying them. You know?
I know. It's crazy. Yeah.
Not above the law.
I think they were checking into whether or not they were going to charge her.
You know, you don't walk into Subway, walk behind the counter, and lick the tomatoes and see if they're fresh. Walk back to the front.
I do sometimes try the bread.
I won't have tomatoes on this sandwich.
I do sometimes go back there and try a couple of different of the breads and
I like to walk.
Try a whole sandwich.
I go into McDonald's and stick my face in the fry basket. They were too hot. I don't want those ones. Air them out a little bit.
I think that she should probably come on our podcast and,
especially after we called her Miss Large.
And just be like, excuse me, Miss Large. Can you explain what you're... And then she'll probably sing something to us like... La, la, la.
Yeah, that's how is exactly how she sounds.
People probably are thinking that I put some clip on of her singing right there.
That was her, definitely.
That was definitely.
I'm sitting with Miss Large.
That's Mr. Large, all right? Don't you... Oh, man. I'm going to turn off this recording. I didn't stop that. Do-do-do-do. All right, I'm back. Now my chair's making all kinds of squeaking noises.
I need 2 chairs.
2 chairs. Just a couple. All right. Next, we're going to talk about Paul Reubens. Now, Paul Reubens is really well known by people my generation, maybe in your generation.
I don't
you have no idea who that is?
So what's he in?
So he had a really big child's program back in the day that it was just, every morning, a lot of kids watched it. It was called The Playhouse.
Oh, I've heard of that.
You've heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he had a nickname, Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, so Paul Reubens, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman.
That was dumb.
Oh, my God. He was arrested in 1991 for getting a little bit too excited in an adult movie theater. And then apparently got arrested for indecent exposure. So I know that it says that it was an adult movie theater.
It's probably...
But in the 90s, do you remember like a lot of like adult movie theaters? I don't even know if that's a thing. I mean, I remember hearing that about like in the 70s.
I think he was at the IMAX watching Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption.
Son of a bitch, it's getting hot in here. Talk to me, Morgan Freeman. I love your voice.
I love your... I'm thinking it's more like Tommy Boy. And right around that scene, and David Spade's like, Speaking of no one's looking.
I'll accompany you. Sorry, Grandma. Well.
Oh, man.
I don't know what. Why would you go to a adult movie theater if that wasn't your intention anyway?
Dude, I don't understand the idea of a real adult movie. I don't understand the idea of watching a porn with a bunch of dudes.
I don't either, yeah.
None of it makes any sense to me. So I couldn't imagine, you know what? It's 3 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon. I just, I worked the early morning shift. I got off at 1.
I feel like going and getting horny.
I do. I'm thinking, ooh, man, a McDonald's burger on the way to the adult movie theater, right? And then when you get there, and then did they just hand out little tubes of lotion and napkins? Oh, hey, you're here to see Debbie Does Dallas. Yeah. Okay, so here's your little lube.
A little Dove and a tissue.
And then they're like, oh my God, Pee Wee Herman, why are you doing that?
Yeah, I'll jack off here. It's for regular people to jack off.
That guy next to you, that was fine. Okay, we were okay with him. But you're Pee Wee Herman, goddammit.
You'd have been okay if you helped the guy next to you, but you can't do it yourself.
You cannot do it yourself. And he's like, but I'm not Pee Wee Herman, I'm Paul Rubens. And they're like, nobody, that's not a thing.
That's not you.
That's not you.
It's a made-up name.
But he does redeem himself, and I think he keeps the TV show, and then he ends up, I think, making other appearances as Pee Wee Herman. So, or maybe that was the decline of the Pee Wee Herman. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe he lost everything after that. You know what?
You said 91?
91.
I was 10 months old, so I don't.
So you don't recall?
I have no idea.
I remember that Pee Wee Herman was really big, and then all of a sudden he wasn't big, and so I think it was around this time. And I could do the research, but I'm not going to. This is what Google's for. If you guys want to know that information, go check it out.
Yeah.
That's not what we're here for.
No, you listen to us to give you things to look up and find out about.
Yeah. If you don't have a weekly homework assignment on something you're interested in, then I don't even know why you're listening to podcasts at this point. Okay? Now we're going to talk about, these are all really brief stories. Justin Bieber. All right, he's done a lot of things wrong.
I was going to say, he's going to draw one out of a hat. You don't think twice. You leave a monkey at a German zoo. You heard that? The roast of him?
I do remember that. I don't even remember what the story was with him. He stole a monkey or something.
No, I think he bought the monkey. His name was O'Malley. According to, this is all based off Will Ferrell pretending to be the guy from Anchorman at the Comedy Central roast that I watched. So I don't know if this is true or not.
You know what? We're gonna say that that's completely true.
Yeah,
100% accurate.
100%
it was
accurate.
Will Ferrell, so we're good.
Yeah, but apparently he couldn't take the zoo or not the zoo, but the monkey on the airport.
He couldn't take the zoo with him?
On the airplane. I think so. He was he set it free in the wild. I don't know.
Oh.
It found its way to a zoo.
It was knocking on the door, let me in! Shit, I haven't had food in 3 days.
He dropped that monkey off, and then he went and hung out with Miss Large, and they licked some donuts together.
Oh, man. All right, so reading this one about Mr. Bieber, again, you could go into a bunch of different ones that he did. He made some songs, and it's ugh. Yeah. You know, he's made some decent ones.
I like him. I'm a believer.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that big time. Apparently, his neighbors called 911 one night, which, if you don't know what 911 is, at this point in time, then I don't think we can really even explain it at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the number that you call for emergency services. If you don't get that, then you're probably not using Google either. You know, so you're not listening to us. But apparently he was throwing eggs at a neighbor's house, and I don't know why. But he ended up pleading no contest for vandalism and got 2 years of probation.
I just don't see how throwing eggs is an emergency 911 worthy call.
I don't think so either.
Your local police station.
I don't know, but it was Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
So, I mean, if you're sitting in your house and all of a sudden you hear an egg and you open the door thinking it's some little kids, and you got Justin Bieber standing out there like singing and dancing in the street while throwing them, you're like, holy shit. I don't know what this guy's capable of.
Doing a twirl, a spin, and throws the egg.
Throws another one. You're like, I'm out. I'm hiding in the basement. Calling 911. We got an out of control Justin Bieber out here.
Yeah, who knows what else he's gonna do? He's gonna leave me in a German zoo.
Oh man! All right, this one. I don't get the gist of it. They don't really go into. But in 2012, at a Target in Sacramento, California, Cat Williams starts talking to an employee, and then somebody starts videoing it, and he then slaps the I think it was a female employee, but maybe it was a male, and then he rides off on an electric cart.
What?
Yeah.
They'll never catch me.
They'll never catch me. Yeah. And then I don't know if he thought that he was anonymous or what. I mean, it's Cat Williams, but he did evade cops at that time. But a few days later, he was arrested on assault and obstruction. And then apparently at that time, it was for being in a bar fight in Seattle. So he's arrested on different things, but then they were like, hey, since you got him in custody for this bar fight. So apparently he was just walking around slapping motherfuckers. It just, he did. But I like to think that he was in Target and he was like, looking for a little TV for his tour bus, right? Yeah. And they're like, we don't have a 12-inch TV. And he's like, that's the size that I want, right? Yeah. And they're like, I don't want a 22. It's too big for the area I want. And they're like not letting him buy this, like they don't have a 12-inch. They're like, buy an iPad. He's like, that's too fucking small. I don't want that. I want to mount it in this little hole. And then, like, this is what I'm just assuming, right? I don't know if any of this is true.
Most of what we say is.
And then at some point he's like, I said everything, everything. And he slaps the shit out of people. That's the way that.
Look here, bitch. And I'm just saying bitch because I don't know your name.
And then Seth's chair wanted to talk for a minute.
Yeah, it did. I had to shift.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine. Like, I think if Cat Williams started, if I met him tomorrow and I'm standing there face to face with him and he was pissed, right? I don't know if I'd know it because he's the funniest son of a bitch. So, and the way that he's so animated when he's telling a story, even on stage. And yeah. I can imagine he's like pacing back and forth and he's yelling at me and I'm still giggling. I'm like, and then he slaps you. You're like, is this part of it?
Is this part of the joke?
It's still hilarious, Mr. Williams. This is fantastic. And then he just goes storming off and jumps in a limo, goes to Seattle, gets into another bar fight, where it's the same thing.
No, he didn't storm off into a limo. He jumped on an old lady's...
He jumped on an electric car.
Turns around and flips him off as he slowly rolls away at 2 miles an hour.
Just slowly down the fucking aisle. Oh, my God. That is fantastic. Winona Ryder.
What?
Winona?
What?
Winona?
I think it's Winona.
Winona?
Why are you saying that word?
I'm not. It's Winona Ryder.
Am I saying what weird?
Yeah.
Cool whip?
Winona.
Don't hurt yourself. His face got all red.
It did. I stopped breathing there for a second, but I'm back. I'm back. So, Winona Ryder... I don't know. I think she's been acting since she was like 3.
I still don't like the way you're saying her name. It don't sound right.
What's wrong?
I don't know. It's not. Continue. I just don't like that.
So, anyways, she's been acting for a minute, right? I'm not sure what actual age she started acting. I assume it's like 2 or 3, right?
And Pampers commercials.
Yeah, she was in Pampers commercials. Check it out. I'm sure it's probably accurate.
It might take you a while.
That's what I'm sending people on a wild goose chase sometimes. It's fine. But apparently she was like battling with not wanting to pay for stuff so she's at Saks, which I've never been into this Saks store, right? So I'm imagining that it's just one of those really expensive places that I would just never even shop at. Even if I was worth $17 billion, I don't know if I would. They probably don't have anything that would like please me in that store anyway. You know
I would
what
wipe my ass with $100 bills.
Then you would not be a billionaire for very long, sir. I've seen you poop 4 times a day. That's not going to work out very well. But she apparently goes into this Goldman Sachs, and then she shoplifts, and it's like she got like 2 T-shirts and a pair of jeans. It totaled at $4,760. She had it in apparently a large bag, and she just like tried to leave. She gets charged with grand theft. Oh, then she's got prescription drugs, illegal prescription drugs in her purse. So then, she gets in all kinds of trouble for that.
Wasn't she in Beetlejuice?
She was in Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
She was in a bunch of movies. Yeah.
That's where I know her from.
I'm pretty positive that she was like married to Johnny Depp at some point in time. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah, I think they're in a movie together at a minimum. I don't know. They're 6 degrees of separation. Winona Ryder was around Johnny Depp at some point. All right. And then speaking of people going to adult stores, this guy was like, I'm an actor. And I don't want to go and tarnish my career by going to one of those stupid adult movie places and sit there trying to jerk off in peace, right? It's not going to work for me. So instead, and at this time, he's married to one of the hottest women alive. But instead, he goes and hires a prostitute. And he gets busted at 1:30 in the morning in 1995. And I remember seeing his picture everywhere. Yes, I'm talking about Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant?
Hugh Grant.
He was in a movie once.
He was in several movies once.
Right.
Yeah. Not much now.
Nope.
Ever since being... And I think that what made this such a big deal is he was married to Elizabeth Hurley.
Oh.
And right around that time, I think the movie was called wasn't it like Bedazzled?
Bedazzled, yeah, with Brendan Fraser. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. She was freaking, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time...
My first childhood crush.
At that time, she's married to Hugh Grant. And can you even imagine, all right, I've got 1995, Elizabeth Hurley at home. But I'm going to go find a prostitute down on Lower Broadway or Lower Hollywood Boulevard or wherever he was at again.
Well, I got Elizabeth Hurley at home. I think I'd prefer chlamydia.
Yeah, I know. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So, but pretty hilarious.
Jeez. Well, that's like that comedian said. You can show me the hottest girl in the world, and I'll show you someone tired of doing her.
Yeah. Well, that right there is that case.
Perfect example.
Yeah. Or it was the complete opposite. She was just like, you can go sleep in the other room. You're not being with me. She was dating Brendan Fraser at the time.
Was she?
No. Well, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know.
You're not 100% sure about anything that we're talking about.
Oh, man. All right. So then growing up in the 90s, which is my time frame, right? Mm-hmm. My favorite movies of all time were the Lethal Weapons.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah,
Mel
fantastic.
Gibson?
Mel Gibson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of stars in the '90s. There's a lot of big time stars, but I don't know if you get bigger than Mel Gibson in the '90s. I still like him if he's in anything right now.
Yeah.
Remember Daddy's Home?
Yeah, he was hilarious at that.
God. I thought that the first Daddy's Home was good, and sometimes they do a sequel to it, and you're like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
The second one was better.
The second one was so much better.
And that little girl kept turning up the thermostat. That was hilarious. It's madness.
And they couldn't have casted better people.
Yeah.
Mel
John
Gibson.
Lithgow.
Yeah, John Lithgow as Will Ferrell's dad.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then Mel Gibson as Mark Wahlberg's dad. I mean, come on.
That was hilarious.
That's some of the best casting genius I've ever seen, man. That was such a good movie. But it says here that at some point in time, because of course they don't have to always give me dates, but he was arrested for a DUI, which is driving under the influence of most likely alcohol is what I'm going to assume, but they don't say. So I don't.
It's probably alcohol.
Yeah, most likely it was alcohol. I remember seeing his mugshot. It's all over the place too. Yeah, and that definitely looked like he was just drunk. But apparently, this was around the time too that The Passion came out.
Of the Christ?
Yeah, that was Mel Gibson's movie.
That was in 2000s though.
Yeah, that's when Mel Gibson was arrested.
Oh, that's
for
when that
DUI.
happened? Oh, I thought we were still in the 90s.
No, I'm talking about the 90s and 90s Mel Gibson. This is a 2000s Mel Gibson. He's a different man.
Yeah, he's a different guy completely.
He's a different guy.
Way different.
And I think that, honestly, The Passion was a really good movie.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen The Passion?
No, I was like 11 when it came out.
You
I
have
want
to
to watch this.
Dude, he funded it. He couldn't get any studio to
I heard it was very controversial.
Oh yeah. And I think that they had a lot of stuff. I'm trying to think of the guys. Caviezel was the guy that played Jesus in the movie. Mm-hmm. And I think he had all kinds of problems while he was making the movie, like lightning striking close to him and stuff like this.
Really?
Yeah. But it tells the story, and then they did it in like old Hebrew language, so then you have to read the subtitles the whole time.
Oh.
Yeah, it's tough to watch. Yeah, because I mean it's based on some accounts of what happened to Jesus Christ, So, but it was kind of a make it or break it thing, and he made a ton of money off of it. But yeah, that was all. It's Mel Gibson's movie completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that he directed it, but he also funded it. So he's the one that got all the money when it got made and all that stuff. But after that is when he kind of changed. And this is sometime after that I remember seeing. And maybe this was just because of all of his checking into all of that stuff and everything. But he made some remarks to a deputy. Where
woman
he
deputy,
says,
wasn't it?
And this is a quote. This is not us saying this, okay? He says, "The Jews are responsible for all the wars in the world. Are you a Jew?" He says that to a female sergeant. And then after he says that to one of the deputies, a female deputy turned and looked at him. And then he said, and again I quote, "What do you think you're looking at, sugar tits?"
If you get pulled over by a woman officer, you say sugar tits. You're gonna get right out of that ticket.
Yeah, that's how they let you. They're just like, "Oh my God, yeah." All right, here's your warning.
My tits are sugary. It works 60% of the time.
You know what?
Every time.
You try it. You guys message us if it doesn't work. All right. But we're not actually directing you to go do that because that's totally on your own. Oh man,
that's funny.
That is pretty good.
You're rich and cocky when you call a cop sugar tits.
Oh my God, I can't even believe it, man. That's unreal.
There's no way I would do that.
I know. I can't even. I just can't even see it. But he probably was acting like Martin Riggs at this time. So he's like, "I'm Sergeant Riggs, sugar tits." you know, and she's like, you're not a real cop. Yeah.
He was to me when I was a kid.
Oh, absolutely. He was to me, too. I mean, there's nothing better than a lot of those 90s police dramas like that. You know, It is, I'd say, the easiestly, like, the most well done in The Other Guys.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is how all your 90s movies are. You got all your car chases, you got your buildings that are getting blown up and everything. So now on The Other Guys, you got Samuel L. Jackson and The Rock. And they're, the opening scene, all of
Hilarious.
the big bombs going off. He's driving the badass 70 Chevelle. And then it might have been a 71. I'm trying to remember single headlight or dual headlight. Anyway, so then he drives it into the side of the bus, and then they're driving the bus with the Chevelle sticking out of the side.
Yeah.
All for less than a half an ounce of marijuana or something like that. So they were like, was it worth causing $10 million worth of damage for, less than an ounce of marijuana? And they're like, you shut your mouth, Or no, he says, let's ask the great citizens of New York, and then they all cheer for him. Oh my God, I love that movie, man. But that is how your 90s movies was. They have no idea what's happening. Mel Gibson jumps on the hood. He's he's shooting Nick Driver, and then he rolls off down the highway. And you never saw all of the reports that they were sitting down doing after this. You know what I mean? He pulls in the One Lethal Weapon, the diplomat that you can't even charge anything. They pull his house off the side of the hill, and then they shoot him in a freaking boat. And, it's like diplomatic immunity just been revoked. Yeah, you imagine writing that in a report? Yeah. So you shot him when? Right when he told me that I couldn't, because then I did. Yeah.
Gun went off by accident, Cap.
Yeah, I didn't tell him it's been revoked. That wasn't me. I didn't have that authority. Well, it's been brought to our attention that is what you said. Then we got another story to talk about. John Claude Van Damme.
Tough guy, badass.
Oh,
Kicks people in the face.
I don't know, man. What do you think? John Claude Van Damme versus Steven Seagal.
It would be in the nursing home, that's for sure.
Oh, it would absolutely. Yeah, this is when we're talking about it, too. I'm not even talking about it in the 90s. I'm saying today. They're in a nursing home down in Florida, and they get pissed off about the butter on the bread, and who gets more butter for their rolls.
Was Miss Large there licking it first?
Of course, Miss Large is going to go there. She's going to lick on all of it, make sure that everything's, good for everybody.
I don't speak Spanish. That's why I call her Large. I am French. Le Large?
Le Large? Oh,
I think
Grande.
it's Venti, isn't it? Or
Venti?
yeah.
Yeah, the only reason I know all of those words...
No, Venti means 20. That's what it means.
I don't know. I have to rewatch Paul Rudd
when
he rips that girl's ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've officially called all of these everything except for large. I want a large. And yes, I think Venti means 20.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Because he taught me that in that movie.
Yeah. That is one of the best. Yeah, I love that. Mm-hmm. So, but you didn't answer my question.
Well, because I was thinking of Steven Seagal doing that video where he's just slapping the guy. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't...
Yeah, but he wouldn't be able to slap John Claude because he'd be doing the splits the whole time.
What it would be is John Claude would hit the splits and stare at him, and Steven Seagal would just wave his hands like he was slapping something, and then there wouldn't ever even be a fight.
Well, John Claude Van Damme had a bodyguard, and Mickey Rourke also had the same bodyguard. His name was like Viota or something like that was his last name.
Yeah.
Viat. Yeah, we'll just call him Fiat.
Sounds French. Don't disrespect my heritage. Pronounce it right.
Well, they're at a bar one night.
Actually, just got an ancestry back. I am 0% French.
You did Ancestry?
No, family member did. Ashley did. My sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have no nothing. We're Irish, German, and
Yeah, I
A
know.
little bit Indian, a little bit Dutch, but not very much.
Yeah. Are you rapping over there? Or
Yeah.
a little bit of Dutch, but not
Yeah,
very much.
I go Dr. Seuss when I get nervous.
John Claude Van Damme apparently starts like walking around, and he was, for some reason, talking to shit about this bodyguard.
I could tell that you didn't read any of that.
What?
He was walking around, was he? Did it say that in the report?
No, yeah, the report's
Yeah,
over
that's what I
there.
thought,
I'm
yeah.
not looking
We don't
at
know
it.
if he was sitting, dancing, doing the
I'm
splits.
saying they're at a club. Where at? I don't know. Could have been New York. Could have been Seattle. Yeah. I like to believe that it was somewhere in Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where everybody goes
just-
to club it up.
So they're just hanging out somewhere in Kansas.
Wichita.
Probably Wichita. Yeah. We know it wasn't Dodge City because they would have turned Wyatt Earp loose, and he would have taken care of.
He was nearby.
He was nearby.
Don't you worry about that.
So John Claude Van Damme in Wichita, Kansas, and Mickey Rourke's with him. And I don't know why they were both in Wichita at the same time, but this is what they. And then
hot.
they just so happened to run into their former bodyguard. Right, this Viot or Viota, Viat. I don't know. I could look up his name. I mean, literally, I got the article.
No, I don't think you should.
I'm not going to.
Probably
So
Russian.
it might be. Yeah. And I saw a picture of the guy. I don't even have an explanation for him. He's kind of a big guy. I'm guessing he takes some type of performance-enhancing drug.
Oh my god.
He's definitely got a better beard than Seth. And
That's everybody.
So they're in Wichita, Kansas, to what I believe. And for some reason, John Claude started getting froggy. I mean, this Fiat, he walks up and he's like, "Hello, Mr. Van Damme." And John Claude was like, "Yeah, how you doing? You know, I haven't seen you in a long time. It's been nice." But then he's talking to all of these Kansas people.
Yeah,
he's just walking around.
Can
and
you
he's
do
just,
the splits?
Right.
Because I can.
Yeah. And then he's like, "And have you seen Fiat over there? That guy's a bitch." And he's like saying all this stuff about him. And I don't know exactly what it is, but I like to believe that he said something bad about his mom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was like making some jokes. Like, I can't think of a joke right now, but he was making jokes about Mr. Fiat's like mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just pissing him off. So finally, one of the bouncers, because most of the clubs in Wichita have bouncers, and
we're not gonna get any patrons.
if you like the telling of this story, Patreon, all right? Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Sorry.
So anyway,
Money.
John Claude Van Damme, Mickey Rourke, Mr. Fiat in Wichita, Kansas, at a bar. And I don't even think it was a club. I think it was just like a old-fashioned bar.
One pool table.
One pool table. There was a little bit of slow country music going in the corner. Yeah, probably like Should Have Been a Cowboy by Toby Keith. That's not too slow, but that's what I'm picturing. And they're just jamming, right? So I can see John Claude Van Damme's head down. He's on the dance floor. He's just kind of like, you know, listening to Should Have Been a Cowboy, right? And all of a sudden, Fiat catches wind that Van Damme's been just telling everybody this story about Fiat's mom. So Fiat comes over and he's like, "Listen, Mr. Van Damme, sir, you running your mouth about me." And Van Damme at this point turns into like Universal Soldier Van Damme, right? And he was like, "Oh, yes, bitch." You know? So Fiat punches him a couple of times. And to quote Fiat, he says, "I punched him with the right and I punched him with the left, bam, bam." It's a hell of a quote.
That part's actually a quote. I mean, literally, almost everything else he said was made up.
Most of it.
I'm pretty sure they were sitting down at a bar when this happened.
Yeah,
on
so
bar
this,
stools.
so John
he was
Claude,
not dancing.
have you seen Pure Country?
No.
You haven't seen Pure Country
No, I
with
haven't.
George Strait?
No.
Okay. And to you people who have, you picture George Strait when he was drunk and he's sitting at the table with the little tower of beers all up there. This is John Claude Van Damme at this little line dancing honky tonk in Wichita, Kansas, with Mickey Rourke, a couple of bouncers nearby, and then here's Fiat or Viota. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can look it up.
We've just been going with it.
We're going with Fiat. So Fiat walks over.
Fiat is actually a car.
It is a brand. It's actually interesting story. I'm pretty sure that's his grandparents started that car company.
I saw the name. It starts with a V.
It did.
Fiat starts with an F. All right.
So, anyways. So, where I'm going with this is the descendant of the Fiat Motor Company, now a bodyguard, former bodyguard, because I think he was breaking into the family business now of the car company. He then walks over, looks down. He's sober, stone cold sober. Van Damme's been drinking for like 4 hours, dude. He's doing shots. He's got this tower, just like Dusty in the old honky tonk. And he's leaning back on his chair, and then he goes, "You been talking shit about my mom?" Van Damme was like, "Look, bitch. Yeah, I did that." So he just basically jumps on top of him and starts beating the shit out of him. And then Van Damme just denies that any of my story that I've told has ever taken place. He's like, that did not happen. Nobody could ever whip me. And I wouldn't mind having John Claude Van Damme on this episode. And he could straighten a lot of this out for us.
Yeah, he could. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he could tell me the people's real names. And then he could tell me maybe the correct location as to where they were at. I don't want to have to Google all this shit. Okay?
We don't want to put any work in at all.
I put a lot of effort in. Right? I looked up these stories. I just didn't follow up on the stories.
He read the headlines.
I did. Especially this one with Fiat, man. I was really intrigued with the Fiat history, but I just didn't want to go in on, didn't want to delve into it. And oddly enough, the bar in Wichita that this happened in became so iconic that...
Shut up.
Anyways, go visit it. It's downtown. No, actually, I think it was demolished now. I'm trying to remember now.
I keep looking at him thinking he's telling the truth. Van Claude did actually get beat up by this guy, though.
Yeah, no, the meat and bones of this story happened. Yeah. It's just like the where, when, and then the guy's actual real last name, I don't really know. But the story actually happened.
Yeah. If this story was a house, the blueprint was accurate.
Right.
The house being built and finished was fiction.
Which made the telling of it a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we looked up like 10 stories, and I was like, there's no way.
Literally 10 minutes before we walked in here and started recording.
But I was like, there's no way. We're going to tell some in-between stuff. There's no way we're going to get through all of these stories. And we have. We've gotten through all of the stories.
And we drug them out a lot with bullshit.
I don't know. I mean, I'd say of the things that we've talked about, Arianne Grande licking that donut was like...
Who?
Sorry. Ariana Large.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't speak Spanish.
Ariana Large.
Thank you. Thank you. I know who that is.
And I think that we have Ariana Large and Van Damme in here at the same time on the episode.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I don't have an extra microphone, so we'll just have to have Van Damme share one with you, and then Ariana share my mic with me.
Or vice versa, whatever.
No, we'll just probably do it that way.
Sorry, Jacqueline. I don't want to sleep on the couch.
And
I want
Van Damme is so flexible. We can just wrap him around.
Is it Van Damme?
Yeah,
John Claude Van Damme.
John Claude Van Damme.
I think I said it wrong.
He's so flexible. We'll just wrap him around you, and then you guys will just share your chair.
Great. Sounds uncomfortable. He probably smells like Old Spice.
We got plenty of room. If any of you guys know their publicist, get a hold of them. Let them know. We've got questions. All right? We want to know all the facts.
We want answers.
We want answers. Yeah.
Wow. We'll have donuts here too, Miss Large.
Just have your people get a hold of my people.
Which is us.
Which is us.
We don't have people.
Get a hold of our people. And
That's what I tell people. Like, I really like your podcast. How do I get in contact with it? Oh, I would call this number. It's my number.
I can't talk about it right now. You call this number in an hour. And they will, yeah, that's Seth.
I just answer with a French accent.
I don't even know one. I can't, but I was going to try it. Parlez-vous, Seth.
Lay hello?
Lay hello?
Parlez-vous? Hello?
Oh, we are quite the world travelers over here. Oh, man. All right. Well, I think that's it. I don't think I've got anything. I mean, I could keep going. Do you want me to tell you more of the story in Wichita?
No, I want to go home.
Oh, you want to? Oh, okay. All right. Well, then, I think we're done. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, go check us out on all of our social media accounts. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All of it's at Crackin Crime. If it's not at Crackin Crime, it's at Jamie Tilson. TikTok at Jamie Tilson 9371. We're going to be sharing stuff on there. Don't forget the giveaway for the B. John's beef jerky. Yep, you got to like it, comment on it that you're done, and then share the post.
It's worth it too. It's some good stuff.
It's some really good beef jerky. We'll mail it to you. We'll put people in for the drawing, and we'll do the drawing live on the podcast. Or we'll be live, but then we'll show it to you guys, and we'll video it. And same way we did with the floor mats. So I like giveaways. I like growing our social media because, again, the ultimate goal, we want to grow the podcast. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
We really enjoy doing this, even if half of what Seth tells us is bullshit, you know? Now, the stories are real. We have fun just telling stories. I mean, that's what it is. We have fun telling the stupid part of the stories. We really like bringing you, and we're bringing you a big story next week. And we're going to research it all week. We're going to put in the effort and time on that one. It's going to be good. And we're still going to find ways to make fun of it because that's what we do.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I like to laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole point of this is entertainment, man. So we're just here to have fun, and we're here to tell you guys a story. We hope you guys are enjoying it. But that is all I've got. You got anything else?
Yeah, but it's all in French, and I don't think anyone understands.
Oh, yeah, that'll be over my head.
Probably shouldn't do that.
All right, so then you just post that on your social media stuff.
I'll do that.
With what you got.
Yeah.
And, all right. Well, that's it.
Till next time.
Till next time. Thank you, guys.